Hello, hi guys, how are you? My name is Leo, here's Hao2it. Welcome back to my channel. I hope today I can bring you guys another cool, awesome project. The summer's here, outside is really hot. Inside, luckily, I got my AC unit turned on. It's nice and chill, but the thing is kind of noisy. As you can see, it's right behind my workstation. So every time I sit in front of the computer, that noise kind of like annoying to me. So this project, I'm gonna make that quieter. So how to do that? I'm gonna put my workstation PC, mount it onto the AC units. Yes, I'm gonna do an AC cool PC. Couple things I hope I can achieve on this project. First, I really hope I can make that noisy AC unit quieter. I'm gonna mount my entire workstation in front of the AC unit, so I hope that can block most of the noise, and I might find some of the noise dampening material inside or whatever, so I can block as much as noise come out from the AC unit. Second of all, I can cool my PC at the same time, so to gain some performance hopefully. Third, the AC unit, like window AC unit, is boring look. I'm gonna put some RGB lighting, yes, to make that fun and cool looking. So I hope I can succeed on this project in an AC or PC AC cooling machine. So I'm gonna call that AC PC or PC AC. Yes, you heard it first on Hao2it.
For this build, I will mainly working with this InWin 101 case. It comes with full-size tempered glass panel which look great with RGB component. I also like the way the sun can shine through the honeycomb panel on the top. Now down to the business. I remove all the components attached to the case, including the front panel I/O, PCIe brackets, the bottom foot, and to be able to put the AC inside the case, I need to make space by pushing the motherboard tray forward. To do that, I remove all the rivets that holding the side panels. Then I try to push it forward, but the back panel holding is on the way. So I'm ready for the first cut. Typical PC, the back I/O is flush on the back panel. This case is inside the case a little bit. That's why I need to cut this 3 metal banding. The case was super well built. The metal is super hard to cut. It takes me at least 20 minutes to cut each pieces. Because the metal is thick, the cut is not as sharp I expect. That's good, but I still use a metal file to clean up the edges, just in case. Then I move the motherboard forward. Now I got more space on the back, but not enough space for the GPU. To solve that, I use an extended riser from Lee & Lee. I roughly measured the space I need for the GPU in the AC units, but again something on the way. Then I need to do my second cut. I cut the bottom bandings and the extra metal on the riser. Again, for safety purposes, clean the cuts is a must here. After cutting, I put some of my old PC component inside the case. Then I measure the spots, each one on the case. After making sure everything is fit, then I secure the motherboard tray by using a rivet. Install the rivets is one of the easiest tasks on this build. Drilling the hole, put the rivets in, snap the ends using the Rivet Gun. Easy. Then I clean up the little metals that generate from the cutting and drilling because I need to install the soundproofing material. First, I use this sound deadening material for car. I forget the brand is. I will put all the stuff I use on the video descriptions. in case you're crazy enough like me and you want to build something like this too. This thing, just like a tape, is very easy to install. I cut the size, stick that on the case. It is fine to only cover 50% of the surface, but I use that to cover most of the interior. I've even put 3 layers on the back panel. The second product I use for soundproof, I use this black color gap filler from Great Stuff. There are several good purposes for using these products. One, because I cut out a lot of material out the case. It can help the construction more solid. 2, it can hold a lot of weight from the AC. Without this, all the weight will be land on the bending of the case. Of course, I don't want to do that. 3rd, because it is a foam-based material, it can absorb a lot of sound after cutting it. Nice fit. Next, mounting the radiator, I use a paper to chase the edge and the mounting hole. Stick that on the panel, drill the holes. Because the motherboard tray is slightly inward, it can't sit flush on the panel, so I use a fan as a spacer. These two 140mm fans are totally overkill for this. Now I lose count for the cuts. I just do my next cut, cutting out the metal between the CPU radiator and the AC radiator. Then I realize it needs some clearance for the cold air coming out. Then I remove the material on the spot I need to cut. Then more cuts on the top of the case. This cut is for me because I need that cold air from the ACs too. To do that, I use a rotary tool to cut through the middle of each line. Then my jigsaw can get into it. I also use the rotary tool to cut down some of the material on the bending line. That hopefully will make the bending easier later. At this point, I start to manage the rotary tool. So I use that to cut the IOs for the GPU. Next, I cut a hole big enough for the AC power cords, so I could put the AC inside to measure the size for cutting the back panel. The same cutting method applies to the back panel. Use the rotary tool to cut a hole. Finish that job with my jigsaw. I will bend the top part of the back panel. I need that to support the AC even more. I also need that to cover a tiny part of the cold air vent that is not inside the case. Next, I'm bending the back panel and the top of the case. It is so hard to bend those, even though I cut some of the material out. Next, I do the final cuts for the motherboard I/O. I use the Corsair deadening tape to cover the hole that I don't need. You may wonder why there are two same size holes right here, because that was an accident. I cut the material to the size, then tape it. I think it looks not bad right now. I also covered those with the hole filler inside as well. The filler is great to absorb sounds. I also use the acoustic foam too, to reduce the sound bouncing inside the case. That's just my theory. Maybe I'm wrong here. Let me know your thought. The build's almost done at this point. I put the legs and dust filter back on. It's time for RGB. I swapped the RAM with this Trident Z Neo 64GB kit. I know G.SKILL make a good memory, but I didn't like this heatsink. I didn't get cut by the cuts I made on the case, but I did get cut by these heatsinks. I'm gonna put two more 140mm RGB fan from Corsair on this radiator. I know it's totally unnecessary, but just for aesthetics, I'm going for it. There's no reason to buy a new or old GPU at this point because we know the 3000 series is coming at the corner. I just used the old 1080 from EVGA. I test everything is working correctly. I do my final cleaning before putting it up. With all the material I put inside the case, now the computer is super heavy. I cannot install that by myself. Actually, my wife was helping me to do that, but sorry I skipped that part because she doesn't want to be on camera. Okay, to make the back panel, now it's side panel prettier, I purchased more cool stickers for that. It looks not bad. All done. It's time to sit back and admire the work I done. Before jumping into the conclusion, I want to share some number for you. What you hear right now is the sounds from before. I set the temperature to 60 degrees and the fan speed low. I also run a stress test on either 64. About 20 minutes, the highest core temperature reached 98 degrees. Oh, forget to mention the spec. The CPU I use is Intel 5820K. I overclocked that to 4.4 GHz. This is the sound after. And the same overclock setting apply here. The highest temperature is 71 degrees. More impressively, the idle only 20 degrees.
So finally, the project is complete. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoy it because it took me a lot of time and effort to make this project. If you like it, enjoy it, make sure you subscribe to my channel. That really helped me out. I mentioned earlier several goals I want to achieve on these projects. First, I want to make the AC quieter. Yes, actually it does not more quieter. As you can hear right behind me, right now is kind of the temperature is kind of stop and sleep. It's really quiet even though it's running, and I can hear it like much lower level. And thank you for the material I choose. I use some construction like a hole filler. That one acts as like a foam and actually absorb a lot of sounds coming out from the AC unit. And second, I use the car dampening material, and actually that one blocking the noise coming out from the AC unit. And I also use the acoustic foam to cover everything in the interior. Second, I want to make my PC cooler. Actually it does, and it's a lot. On idle, this PC only like 20-ish degrees Celsius, and on fully low on either 64, the max temperature only like 70 degrees. That's really cool. I didn't overclock that because I kind of have like an old power supply like 500 watt. I don't want to push that power supply for that much. I'll be upgrade this system in the future, I mean soon in the future, so I'm not gonna touch that right now, but I can do this when I upgrade everything. Third, as you can see right now, I got so many desk space I can use. I even put my lamp on my desk. That one actually like a 4 lamp, but I think it's really cool on my table because I kind of have a big table. I can put it on top, and I like the shape on my desk. I think it's really cool. I may also do another project on that lamp because that triangle, like I don't know how to call that shape. I want to put the monitor on that. I think that one will come out really cool as well because the like angle stuff, it really give me like a really nice viewing angles to set up like a triple or monitor or something. So if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Fourth, do you think it looks really cool? I think it does. Even though I'm not a huge RGB fanboy, but it turns out really cool, really nice. The RGB does the most of the job, and the stickers does help as well because I cut so many holes on the PC case, and I can use sticker and the car dampening material to cover those holes easily. I think it does look really nice. What do you think? So that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Leo. Here's Hao2it. I'll see you on the next project, or you see me on my next project. Bye bye.